Marcus, then they look like a gringo like me.
I know.
And so if we want, well, in Fresno, it's like that. But the thing is, well, I can go to Chula Vista, I can go to Spring Valley International. Say it's the same thing,
But let me ask you point blank, just a point blank question I'm asking everybody. 2009, Gavin Newsom says, let's bring the United Nations to California. 2011, he tells a professor, I think subnational governments can act like nations on the international scene. When he's elected as governor, there's not one American flag, it's only California flags. He says nation state and criticizes the federal government. His first coronavirus pandemic press release, a lot of attention put on him. He says nation state. That means also he rechanges the lieutenant governor post for the first time ever to reelect secretary. Hires the first ever ex-ambassador ever in California history to take over that position, and then recreates 10 trade posts that operate like embassies. And my question to you is, he's just joking, and that means nothing at all.
I think he's trying to undercut us. Not you and me. I don't think that he finds Yes California or the California National Party a threat to them. We're not. I just want to be straight up. We're not. As I know you'd have gotten a kick. You'd have a welt on your shin if you knew you were. And so would I. So we're not. But he knows that people are talking about it. He knows that, I think there's plenty of Democrats who don't like being treated like an abstraction. He knows that Californians have respect for, their LGBTQI neighbors and stuff. That if they're like me, I can't figure out which pronoun to use for the intersex people. But I respect them. They're people and they're my neighbors. Go about, live your life. Buy groceries. Buy groceries next to them and stuff. That's okay. That's fine. We're okay with that. So, but you talk to somebody in a Dakota or a Carolina, they got a problem with that. Even though they never see them, they're most of the continent away from them. They got a problem with that. They think that they need to pass a law to keep them from, using the same bathroom next to us or a kid, my kid and stuff. It's that sort of thing. And this whole thing, the whole thing about understanding, that the dysfunctional immigration regime that we've had essentially since 1965. When Lyndon Baines Johnson put it into practice or signed it, it's really kind of festered. They haven't fixed it. It's been kicked the can down the road most of my life. All of yours, I know that because I know you're younger than me. So the thing is that, we in California, we just kind of work and live with this. Nobody's really going to do anything about it. We don't see anything about it. We're not talking about something intelligent like a guest worker program. We can't get the federal, the federal government to do something like that. The best thing we did was in 1986 when we gave amnesty to many people who were here who were undocumented. And now I suspect that a lot of those people who were here who were undocumented, a lot of them and their kids, they said, but I came here legally and I got it done and I got my card. I'm a citizen. I did it legally. Yeah, right. You did it legally. Thank Ronald Reagan for it. Go ahead, polish off your altar to the Gipper for that. So, but you haven't done it. That was just a Band-Aid. That was it. That was a nice a golden can that was kicked down the road in 1986. I was in college then, man. So, the thing is that getting back to your question, I think that Newsom is trying to fill out the borders in certain ways, but he's got all kinds of people doing things. It isn't the guy another hour up the 99 who worships Trump that he has to worry about, that believes that rails at him for the coronavirus hoax, for whatever he's hearing. It isn't just him. They are people, they vote, and they vote pretty rapidly, so you can count on them to vote against you. It's also the people who don't want to mess up, people who have it good. We gotta be honest about it. There are people who have been up until the pandemic, who've been able to do okay in the system and do all right. There's people who can I have a great concern about my homeless neighbors too. But the thing is that we can't go and build housing for them because there are people who vote and people that look at who have looked at paying their property tax twice a year as some sort of license to have a lot of say over other people's lives and be able to dismiss other human beings who do not have. So, he goes out, he sees all these things, and he can go so far. There's only so many things that we can work inside of as part of the United States. And I think that, he can say these things, they sound good and they talk good, but it's not the same as actually being an independent nation.
So, sure, fair enough, it's not exactly the same. So when Governor Brown signed
Latency, I'm sorry about that, man.
Okay. So when Governor Brown,
I'm sorry, Marcus.
hey, COVID-19, doing the best we can. When Governor Brown signed memorandums of understanding with China and Mexico and Brazil on things such as climate change and trade deals, they were not called treaties, they were called memorandums of understanding. And you're right, only a nation could sign a treaty. But I got to tell you, I invite everybody to look at those MOU into a treaty. Other than the title, the text looks almost identical. So I hear you. But at what point does another country go, okay, it's not a treaty, it's an MOU, wink, 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 and we're going to treat it exactly like a formal treaty, other than the language. California's already done it with many nations. Gavin Newsom traveled to Latin America and said, consider us having a separate foreign policy. And the last question I have for you is, how do Newsom learn?
Ask again.
How do we know that Gavin Newsom hasn't learned that he cannot oppose CalExit? Gavin Newsom did one interview on CalExit ever. There's only one. You can type in Gavin Newsom CalExit. It was 2016 or beginning of January, around then. And he said, you know what? I understand the sentiment, but I don't want to do it. We shouldn't CalExit. We should save America. We need to save America. Now, I invite everybody to watch that video. It's 2.5 years old. It's 40 people from California. Camera pans to them. They have pissed off looks on their faces like they don't want to be part of what Gavin Newsom just said. No one smiles when he says that. No one supports him. There's zero applause. He has said absolutely nothing negative about CalExit since that time. Maybe he thought he could take it on, and he frankly got politically spanked hard in front of real life Californians, and he realizes he can't do that anymore. Don't take my word for it. Watch the video. He's never touched that subject again, and nobody was backing him when he said, let's stay part of America. Thoughts?
I am more interested. I belong to a political party because I just understand that that's how things work. It's like you don't have to like gravity or any other natural law of physics, but it's going to be there. And one of the things that we need to do, and I need to do, is because it's one of the reasons I'm part of a political party, is we need to build an organization. We need to get people elected, and we have to hold on to offices. And I used to be a Green for many years, and one of the things that I became very, I think, disenchanted with the Green Party of California